Hello, greetings everyone, and welcome once again to the Daily Antidote of Song. Thank you, Carolyn, for pointing out that today is 1,467 days of the Daily Antidote of Song. We are so happy to be here today with you. Thank you to Carpe Diem Arts for bringing us all together here on this screen. So crazy. It feels like we all know each other, and we do in certain ways. Welcome everyone from the live stream and everyone here in the room. I'm super excited today to bring to you a very longtime friend of mine, new to the Daily Antidote, Tommy Goldsmith in Nashville, Tennessee. But before I introduce him, I want to say a big hello to every person in this room. Hello to Joe in New Hampshire. She's the one that got all this started, and she's still here with us. Thank you so much. Hello to Erin in New York City in the backstage of that theater. Hello to Tommy coming in from Nashville. Kevin in DC with his beautiful flute. Hello, Deborah dancing in Kentucky and Delhi in Maryland. Hello, Athena in Brooklyn and Pauline in Newcastle, UK. Hello, Dan in Vienna, Susan in Ohio, Sheila in North Florida. Hello, Carolyn in Boise, Benet in Berkeley, and Gary in Massachusetts. Hello, Fred in Silver Spring, Ann in Silver Spring too. Hello, Bonnie in Boise, Bob in Albany, Nancy in Washington State. Hello, Lola in BC, and Sarah in Texas, Laris in the UK, Linda on Orcas Island, Kathy in Colorado. Let me see, where am I now? Mm, 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 Linda rocking on Orcas Island, Elizabeth in California, Bronwyn in Victoria, Caroline in DC, Bob on his iPhone, Carol in Connecticut, Nancy with her Irish cow, Bob in Albany, Bonnie in Boise. I think I got some of you twice because I just don't know where I am anywhere anymore in these crazy little squares that are bringing us together on the Daily Antidote of a Song. Welcome, everyone. So happy to have you all here with us on this beautiful Thursday. Today is our day 1467. That is every single day a song. Today, I want to introduce you to a wonderful friend of mine who needs to unmute so that I can introduce him to you. His name is Tommy Goldsmith, and he is coming into us.
So, Elise, yep, you're good.
Sorry, I don't know when I got muted, but I got muted. So I'm going to introduce you to Tommy Goldsmith coming in from Nashville, Tennessee, and we'll learn a lot more about him in a moment. But first, let's learn a gorgeous song of his. Tommy, welcome to the Daily Antidote of Song.
It's wonderful to be here. Thank you, Elise. I'm now to sing the chorus. Is that the procedure?
Yeah, teach us the chorus to your song, and you'll be surprised because everybody in this room will join in no matter, they'll sing everything with you. But teach us the
Okay.
chorus first.
All right. And this, I have to say, the song is a little unseasonable. It's been quite cold here, but it's called "The Warmth of April." And the chorus goes, "In the warmth of April, we'll fill our table, watch the children run by, so wild and playful. Let the nightbirds crying, as sad as they will. Still I feel so happy in the warmth of April."
So beautiful, and I feel like your music is warming us up. So even if it's a little chilly outside, we will warm it up with the music. Let's do the whole thing.
Okay, very good. All the time's getting harder, hard as I can remember. I know the nights were dark and drear when we reached December, but I can hold on, hopeful and faithful, 'cause I know spring's coming and the warmth of April. In the warmth of April, we'll fill our table, watch the children run by, so wild and playful. Let the nightbirds crying, as sad as they will, still I feel so happy in the warmth of April. Feel the warm sun shine down while the redbud glistens, then the Lumbee roll by while the forest listens. A longleaf rainbow at the close of day will glow to remind us of the warmth of April. In the warmth of April, we'll fill our table, watch the children run by, so wild and playful. Let the nightbirds crying, as sad as they will, still I feel so happy in the warmth of April. That's a Baxter you hear in the background. Oh, the days might slow down, it can get tough walking, but the songs still flow down. Oh, memories talking, but I'm not worried, my heart will stay full, 'cause I know spring's coming in the warmth of April. In the warmth of April, we'll fill our table, watch the children run by, so wild and playful. Let the nightbirds crying, as sad as they will, still I feel so happy in the warmth of April. Yes, I can hold on, hopeful and faithful, 'cause I know spring's coming in the warmth of April. Thank
Oh,
you.
yes. Can you see everybody singing? They don't
Yes,
care if it's
right.
just the chorus. They go ahead and sing the whole song with us. I think you brought some warmth right here to all of us. Um, Tell us a little bit about the song, how it came about. You mentioned the Lumbee, which people might want to know about, and
Yeah, the Lumbee River is what people in that area of North Carolina call it. It's more formally called the Lumber River, but it's, excuse me, officially designated as a wild and scenic river. And it runs through Scotland and Robeson counties, both of which are home to large numbers of the Lumbee tribe. Um, and we are fortunate, my wife and I are fortunate to have a house down there in Scotland County, in a little community called Riverton. And I'm just really moved by spring every year. And it is for me something that holds a promise of rebirth and revitalization and warmth. Um, so that's kind of where it came from. The first couple of verses are like that. And the third verse I wrote quite recently for a show that Elise and I did in Raleigh, which is hometown for both of us. It's kind of about getting older, which I am. I'm 72. It mentions getting tough walking. Well, I broke my femur last May and have had a kind of a rough year, but I'm back on my feet. I'm doing fine, and just really appreciative of that. And I think we, as we can, live in hope. After I had that broken bone and a heart attack, and I thought, well, you know what? I'll probably last for another year or so, and then I've had a good run. I'm not too worried about it. And then I started feeling better. I thought, oh man, I've got 10 years at least, maybe 15, of doing the things that I love to do, which is in different ways telling stories.
hmm.
So this song tells a bit of a story, but it's really just about hope and
Well,
rejuvenation. Sorry.
as you know, I'm a huge fan of your songwriting, but you're also a published author and also a journalist. Tell us a
I,
little bit about the book you're working on and
it's a book about the Stanley Brothers, a cherished and foundational act of bluegrass music. They worked as a team from 1946 to 1966, and then Carter, the older of the two brothers, died. but they have remained popular and remained an inspiration to to generations of young and older people who got interested in bluegrass because the songs are so great, the singing is so great.
Mm.
And the younger brother, Ralph, went on to have a long career of about 50 years as a solo band leader. And some of
Mhm.
y'all might know him from um, Oh Brother, Where Art Thou, where he unfortunately appears in a hooded clown robe, but you hear his voice singing Oh Death, which is a spooky, really hard hitting song that was in their repertoire. And you also hear, I think it's Angel Band. They sing, both brothers in a recording, sing that as part of the soundtrack. So they're still very much alive today as an inspiration to performers like young Billy Strings, who almost always does a Stanley Brothers song in his shows. But I'm looking back at where their music came from, the state of Virginia in those years, and what they went through as kids, growing up on a farm, but also growing up with their dad, Lee Stanley, in sawmills. He had sort of a portable sawmill operation, and the boys were involved with lugging big logs out of the forest and working with them and, you know, cutting them for a variety of local people who were involved in timber. So I'm just getting sort of in tune with the idea they were not only farm kids, but also part of a industry which was fairly quickly to go away because they had logged out so much of the Appalachians. But
Mm.
anyway, it's called Think What You've Done, the achievement of the Stanley Brothers. And it will be coming out on you in University of North Carolina Press next year, fall of 25.
Awesome. And that's following up your book about Earl Scruggs, right?
Yes, in 2019, my book, Earl Scruggs and Foggy Mountain Breakdown, The Making of an American Classic, was published by the University of Illinois Press. And um, it did pretty well. I mean, it sold enough to recoup their investment, which is a little unusual in academic circles. There's a dog. And um, it was well reviewed and all that. So I have a little bit of a sophomore jinx to worry about, but I'm
Yeah.
working on it. I mean, last night I was up till 1 working on it, and will continue to do so. I hope in the next month or so it will be in shape to submit in a revised form after I submitted it initially to the press.
Well,
But
I
it,
think it's wrong of you to think that it's a sophomore endeavor because you have written so much. You've written so many amazing, beautiful songs, all of which my sister and I learned over the years and all the harmonies. But talk a little bit about your music career, because it's, or as Colonel Bruce Hampton would call it, confront. Um, you're you you've been playing music, forever, and
yeah. Yeah, actually, I guess I started playing in public probably 1968 and 69, so edging up on 60 years. But I played in high school rock and roll bands, and I played acoustically around Raleigh and when I went to school in Chapel Hill. But I foolishly left my college situation and went to Nashville when I was 19 with my friend Steve Runkle. And we worked around as singers and songwriters as the Pritchard Avenue Band. But then in 74, I moved to Austin, Texas, where I played with a guy named Alvin Crow and the wonderful singer Marcia Ball, who is still out and performing. Um, and then I went back to Nashville and played in a band called the Contenders, which was a bunch of songwriters working together. And our music is still out there. In fact, a whole CD was just re released last year.
I have to say something about the Contenders, though, because I think that that band was very unusual, and because of its unusualness, the music is still very much alive. Four really strong songwriters in a band with a fifth member as a drummer, who each wrote songs in many different styles And then, so there was no like lead person. All four of you took the turns being lead and supporting each other's music. And I remember as when I was in college and after, just going to hear you all and just, dancing the night away, but also learning all the songs. My sister and I learned all the harmonies. Very, very influential band. Um, for everyone in the Southeast. I mean, you all toured from, all the way down to Texas and back up to Virginia and maybe occasionally to New York. But I think that that band is still, even though it was, a long time ago, that music, when I listen to that music, it's very, very contemporary and very alive.
Well, thank you. Sometimes I think about I appreciate those apt comments. But yeah, I'm doing songs now that I wrote in the '70s easily. Yeah, in the '70s. And I think, golly, that was, what, 50 years ago. And if I'd been doing songs that had been written 50 years ago when I started out, it would have been like the teens and 20s of the 19th, of the 20th century. But I did some of those. The songs that remain, um, in some ways, unfancy enough or unmannered enough to still speak to people through the years, I think are valuable, at least to me. Anyway, just very quickly, I moved back to Nashville. We had the Contenders. Then I was in a band. I was in Ride
Absolutely.
the Sky
Still,
for a while, whom some of y'all may know, the cowboy comedy band. They're still good friends of mine. When they were first starting out, I played with them and played on the Grand Ole Opry with them and played on their first album, and they did a song of mine. But I kind of felt like, actually, it was not, they didn't, I was used to being a professional. I made enough money for sort of a subsistence existence. They all, I think, still had jobs. But anyway, I moved on, played with a great guitar player and songwriter and singer named Tim Krekel. That's Krekel. And
we had Deborah in Kentucky knows Tim Krekel. Uh-huh.
there you, okay, great. Wasn't he great? Just a terrific guy and killer guitar player. And the final professional act I was in was David Olney and the X-Rays. And David Olney had been my friend since before I went to college because my sister Catherine was his friend, and I started playing with him in nightclubs when I was 16 or whatever. But the X-Rays were a rock and roll band. We played around, from Martha's Vineyard to uh, Corpus Christi, and made one record for Rounder, and we're on Austin City Limits, and it was, pretty good. But at that point, I was, I guess, 30. I thought, I'm not sure if this is what I want to do for the rest of my life. Um, and people say, how did you get into journalism? And I would say, um, bad luck and hard times. And I was just into having a more of a career. And in fact, within a couple of years, I was doing much better in journalism than I had in music. And I really loved it and love it to this day. And I worked for daily newspapers for 33 years and have continued to freelance, writing books and writing articles here and there. I did a lot of writing for an organization called North Carolina Health News, which is well worth your checking out. And I wrote about aging and long-term care and all the issues surrounding that. So it's been interesting.
You have had quite a storytelling career in so many different ways. Um, Trying to think if there's anything else I want to ask you about, or if we should just get right back into singing the song. We always love to go out, get everybody singing out so that they have music in their day for the rest of the day. Anything else you want to mention? Anything you have coming up?
Well, I'm going to be at the Earl Scruggs Music Festival near Tryon, North Carolina, over Labor Day weekend, it's the third year I've done workshops for them, which are sessions where I'll sit with Jerry Douglas or somebody and talk about that person's career, or we have sort of panels with people who are expert in Scruggs style or who are songwriters or whatever. And that it's actually something I suggested to the festival the first year it happened because like the Newport Folk Festival had such things, has had them for many years. And it's really done well, and people come out, and it's an opportunity for fans to see the performers as thinking people who not only play the music but know about it and have ideas about it and hopes for it and all of that. So that's really been good. That's the only. I'm determined to finish this book,
Hmm.
so I can get back to spending more time on the couch doing the New York Times word puzzles. All
Great. We
right.
have a lot of word puzzle fans here, I
All
think.
right.
All right, well, let's sing The Warmth of April again. I think you're bringing a lot of warmth. You're going to look outside and see everything's changed by the time you finish singing.
Yeah, it's not too bad here, but I do appreciate y'all coming out. It's great to see you, and I mentioned earlier to the staff that the way most people find me is on Facebook at Thomas Goldsmith. But if you want to send me an email, it's very easy, tommygoldsmith@gmail.com. And I'd love to hear from anybody. Okay, here we go. Oh, beautiful. All the time's getting harder, hard as I can remember. I know the nights were dark and drear when we reached December. But I can't hold on, hopeful and faithful, 'cause I know spring's coming and the warmth of April. The warmth of April will fill our table. Watch the children run by, so wild and playful. Let the nightbirds crying, as sad as they will. Still I feel so happy in the warmth of April. Feel the warm sunshine down while the redbud glistens and the Lumbee roll by while the forest listens. A longleaf rainbow at the close of day will glow to remind us of the warmth of April. In the warmth of April, we'll fill our table. Watch the children run by, so wild and playful. Let the nightbirds crying, as sad as they will. Still I feel so happy in the warmth of April. Oh, the days might slow down, it can get tough walking, but the songs still flow down and old memories talking. And I'm not worried, my heart will stay full, 'cause I know spring's coming in the warmth of April. In the warmth of April, we'll fill our table. Watch the children run by, so wild and playful. Let the nightbirds crying, as sad as they will. Still I feel so happy in the warmth of April. I can't hold on, hopeful and faithful, 'cause I know spring's coming in the warmth of April. All right, thank you, folks.
Oh, I hope you can see the joy that you've brought to everyone. There's a lot of people up dancing to that one. Yes.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah. Beautiful. All right. Thank you so much, Tommy, for bringing us that beautiful song. Thanks, everyone, for being here today. Thank you to those coming in on the live stream. And I am going to say thank you and goodbye to every single one of you because I love being here with you. Oh, thank you, Tommy. We love your song. We hope you'll come back soon and share another one. Thank you to Joe for bringing us all together and Erin for making us look and sound so good. Thank you to Athena and Laris in the UK, Bonnie in Boise and Ben in Vienna, Virginia. Thank you, Sheila in North Florida, Carolyn in Boise and Benet, dancing in Berkeley, Susan G in Cincinnati, Bob in Albany, and Cliff in Vermont. It looks like you might be playing a guitar, but I'm not sure because it's off the screen. Fred in Silver Spring, Ruth and Clive in Birmingham, and Annette in California. Cricket always dancing in Maryland, Kathy in Colorado, and Kevin playing his magic flute. Pauline and Dad in Newcastle, Sarah in Texas, and the Curly Tops, at least one of them, in Vermont. Hoda in BC, Bob and Mabel in the Bears in Massachusetts. Thank you, Linda, rockin' on Orcas Island, Trish in Victoria, and Anne in Silver Spring, Caroline in DC, Lola in BC, Dally in MD, and Gary in Massachusetts. Bob downstairs with another bear, Aloysius in Massachusetts, Diane Coamo in Puerto Rico. So nice to see you. Nancy in Washington, Carol in Connecticut, Elizabeth in California, Loriana Kachina Courtney in Vermont, Ray, who is Joe's mom, so happy to have you with us, Anna in Cambridge, also part of the Daily Antidote crew, Kay in Huntsville, Texas, Jamie in BC, and I hope I got everyone here because it's so wonderful to see all of you. If you're new, feel free to stay around a moment. Joe will be happy to greet you and find out more about you. So long, everyone. See you again soon, and thank you to Tommy coming in from Nashville on the Daily Antidote of Song. Thanks, everyone. Have a beautiful